So how is it going, Dank Division? Dank Dan here, and we're going to open up talking about the Season 1 Reloaded update that will be coming out on December 14th by talking about this little beauty. You know, the LA Thieves all-black skin, better known to many people as Rose 4.0. Really, we didn't learn after the first 3 times that having an all-black skin was not the best idea, but let's face it, it was a money grab, and it succeeded immensely, because the second people saw that there was an all-black skin, $10 was pouring out of every sweat's pocket in order to pretty much covet this little beauty. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it didn't even take a month after its release, not even, that it's going to get nerfed on the 14th. So if you're considering whether or not you want to pretty much pretend to be Vengeance in the night and pretend to be Batman hiding in a corner waiting for the unsuspecting moron to come into a corner, this is what the skin looks like right now. And if you look off to the left of the screen, that is what it's going to look like after the update. It is going to have bright red highlights. You will no longer be invisible. So if you still want to support LA Thieves, more power to you. But you won't be able to do it as an invisible shadow. So enough about that rant. Let's actually dive into the good stuff. So let's first talk about the new mode that will be dropping. That, of course, being the first ever Spec Ops raid. Pretty much treat this like you would, well, Spec Ops. So how exactly does this bad boy work is that you'll be able to grab 2, count them, 2 people to go in with you, in which case each of you are going to play as either Price, Farah, or Gaz to pretty much dive into a heavily fortified enemy facility. So what exactly is this? Well, to put it this way, we are continuing the story after the campaign. Meaning, after you see the image of who you're going up against, which I won't tell you, if you'll just have to have played the campaign to know. But how this works is that it's going to take perfect, well, violence and timing. So those who are able to successfully complete this raid are going to be able to unlock a new operator for free. Now, how exactly do you do this raid? There's a problem. You need to get what is called a raid key. And there are a handful of ways to get it. Now, the first way would be to complete a specific challenge that will either be in multiplayer or Spec Ops. So I have no idea if this is going to be something that's easy or if it's going to be one of these, you know, stand on your head while throwing a grenade while smacking someone upside the head with exactly your left nut. But who knows? Now, for those of you who end up actually playing Warzone, you have it that if you place in the top 20 in any Warzone 2.0 Battle Royale, you get handed off a raid key. And the very last way that you can unlock it is through DMZ, which is pretty much you have to use the final extract helicopter and at minimum have $30,000 in cash. Now, once you do any of those 3 methods, you end up having the raid key, and you will then be able to access the raid for an entire week. Now, let's face it, that's all you need. But there are a couple of things you're going to want to pretty much prep on. My suggestion, do a couple of Spec Op missions. Play that a little bit. Level up your kits. Which, for those of you who haven't played Spec Ops, you actually have a couple of kits that you can choose from, ranging from pretty much the equivalent of a medic to someone who just drops armor plates all the time. Level that up, because you will be using that in the raid, and it will be the determining factor between life and death. Speaking of life and death, how's that camo grind going for all of you? It's a bitch, ain't it? For me specifically, I have been putting off the shotguns for a while. Why? Well, most of the maps, pretty much everyone's kind of staying on the outskirts, not really the close range areas. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this map doesn't have a long range area. That is right, the return of one of the most iconic maps in Call of Duty history, returning again. It was in Vanguard, and now it's finally back. Ladies and gentlemen, Shipment. This time, it is set on a cargo ship in the middle of the water in a storm-ridden part of the Atlantic Ocean, meaning that those of you in Vanguard who were, you know, working around and getting out of the map's boundaries, you're going to find yourself 6 feet under very quickly and sinking fast into the sea. Now, be ready, because with the addition of Shipment, you can expect this map to have its own featured playlist throughout the rest of Season 1. So be ready, because that'll be dropping right off the bat. Now, for those of you who are wondering, are we going to see a holiday version of Shipment? Yes. Once again, for a limited time from December 21st to January 4th, you have it that Shipment will have a holiday theme to it. And no, there is no Krampus. You do not have to worry about that bullshit again. Now, more importantly, let's talk a little bit about Warzone 2. Now, one of the things that you will be seeing is a new point of interest, that of course being Building 21. Now, you're going to, of course, need to get a key to get into this little sucker, in which case it'll have biological laboratory equipment. Now, this means that you'll probably be able to find high-end stuff to sell in DMZ, and for those of you playing Warzone, well, Battle Royale, you'll find yourself pretty much being able to get high-tier contraband, high-tier weapons, and high-tier loot, but be prepared, because there will be secrets that'll put you 6 feet under if you are not prepared. Now, for those of you who have been participating in pretty much the World Cup crossover, they are going to be continuing. Now, let's face it, we already saw the support a team feature. However, you have the knockoff of Rocket League. Yeah, that's right. For a limited time only, they will be having what's called Warzone Cup, in which case you will have 2 teams of 3 operators in this tiny little football field, where you will have pretty much people on special ATVs with a pulse ability to push a massive football into the other team's goal. Now, you'll be able to collect and toss shock sticks that'll stall your opponents or boost through enemy vehicles to ram them out of the way. The first team to 5, or the team with the most goals at the end of a 5-minute time limit, wins the match. Now, whether or not there'll be a special reward, who knows? Now, for those of you who have been wanting a more intimate match, because let's face it, Al Mazrah is a big map and you feel like it needs a change, ladies and gentlemen, in Season 1 Reloaded, we will be seeing the return of Mini Royale. Those of you who haven't played Mini Royale, pretty much take the map, now shrink it to an area for roughly about 50 players. Now, it plays exactly like Battle Royale. It's not a resurgence mode. Instead, you just have it that it's much more condensed, which means the fighting is going to be a little bit crazier. You're going to have it that you're not really going to get as much downtime. The matches are going to be a lot faster, and you're going to have to be on your toes at every step of the way. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, okay, usually when we get into the mid-season updates, we end up seeing an operator. Well, this time, there's 2. The first, of course, I was wondering where this operator was when you had the pre-order bonuses for getting Modern Warfare 2's Vault Edition. And of course, that would be Kyle Gaz Garrick. Now, for those of you who don't already know, they reintroduced him in 2019, in which case that was during the Piccadilly mission, and he ends up teaming up with Price, becomes part of 141, yada yada yada. You end up playing as him in the campaign, and it gets better. There are 3 different skins for him that you can get your hands on. Now, you remember how I said earlier on in the raid that you could unlock a familiar face? If you complete the raid, you're going to unlock his convoy skin, which is pretty much just normal militaristic look, kind of simplistic, etc. Then, of course, you have the in-store bundle, which, of course, 2,400 COD points, you pretty much get his aqua skin. So that pretty much means his wet skin. The skin that he used while he was hiding in the water. Then, for those of you who decide to both complete the raid and buy the bundle, there is a 3rd skin. For those of you who remember pretty much the all gillied up callback, you end up getting your hands on his Grass Ops skin as an added bonus. Now, there's a new operator, which I'm kind of nicknaming him military Claus. Why? Because he looks just like a military version of Santa Claus, that of course being Klaus Fisker. Now, the description for him is that he's a Denmark elite special forces operator. Pretty much considered one of the living legends, and the description for him almost completely jokes at him being Santa Claus. Now, the only way you were going to be able to get him is, of course, with his operator bundle, which, of course, is going to be holiday-themed, and let's face it, it's going to be 2,400 COD points. There's no question about it. Now, some of you might be sitting here going, I have leveled up certain weapons, and I am waiting for the next AR. Ladies and gentlemen, the Chimera. Now, for some of you looking at the image, you're going, that looks oddly... It's the Honey Badger. Let's just cut to the chase. The fact that it has the integrated suppressor, has subsonic rounds, and is pretty much based for close quarters combat, you're going to find that the build that a lot of people made from the M13 in Modern Warfare 2019 is going to make things entertaining. Now, keep in mind that this thing is going to be a lot shorter than most ARs. It's kind of an SMG AR hybrid. And be ready, because this little fucker is on the same platform as the M13, which, case in point, nice and simple. And it will have a weapon challenge as well as an in-store bundle. Now, let me be blunt about this. We do not know what the weapon challenge is. We don't know if it's going to be another DMZ thing, if it's going to be something related to the raids, or if it's going to be something in multiplayer, or if it's going to be a culmination of it could be all of the above, none of the above. We will have to find out. Now, of course, as I already mentioned, you have the Klaus operator bundle, which will be dropping. You have other assorted bundles that'll be pretty much coming out, ranging from the Dune Stalker, which actually costs real money, which is $10, in which case you get your hands on an M4 and a sniper rifle, as well as 1,100 COD points. You also then have the Year of the Rabbit bundle, which pretty much celebrates the Chinese New Year, with the bundle themed on the 4th zodiac symbol of the 12-year cycle, which that of course being the Year of the Rabbit, in which case you get the Zodiac Rabbit Operator skin for Zemo, as well as 2 blueprints that include an SMG and a thing called the Toki, which is based off of the new weapon available with this wonderful little middle season update. Now, something that not necessarily that I'm concerned with, but something that they'll be adding is a new social feature mode called Groups. Now, whether or not this is that you just wanted to make new friends, or you're trying to find squad mates specifically to run DMZ or Spec Op missions, the Groups social feature that is going to be launching both on Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2 is going to help make those connections. This will be accessible through the social menu, and a Groups allows you to find a community of fellow players up to 5,000 in a single group based on similar interests. These can range from following labels such as preferences on Call of Duty modes. This includes Battle Royale, DMZ, and multiplayer, or player experience such as wanting veterans only or new player friendly. They even have it that you can put in a vibe, so you can go for out-of-game interests such as entertainment, gaming, or sports. You also have it that it's community-based, so you can define the tone of the group, such as how they play, whether it be competitive or you're just looking to fuck around and find out. Now, some of the other categories pretty much could include anything from being affiliated with streamers or being part of CDL. Now, you'll be able to customize the color, customize all these other things, and you'll be able to use dedicated text chats to pretty much talk. Pretty much their idea is it's almost like Discord without being Discord, but let's face it, the second Discord's on PlayStation, it's gonna die real fast. So something else that is finally gonna be dropping, and it took them long enough, combat records. Now, combat records are finally gonna be coming online with Season 1 Reloaded. However, there is a catch. Any stats that have been earned from November 16th to December 14th will not count. So those of you who've been racking up hundreds upon hundreds of wins and nukes and kills and pretty much claiming I have this many wins. Well, tough turkey. Tough shit. It's not keeping track of any of it. So you're pretty much going to be starting on square one, just like everyone else, if you want to keep track of stuff. So with that being said, I want to hear in the comment section down below, what is the first thing you're going to do when this update drops? For me personally, I'm getting 2 people together and I'm doing that raid. I'm probably going to get the Gaz bundle because I like the idea of having also his ghillie suit. I sure as hell want that AR because the idea of having the honey badger, absolutely beautiful. And I am looking forward to reading that comment section down below. And by all means, give me a comment worth reading. So all of you out there, don't forget to click that subscribe button, leave a comment down below, hit that like button. And don't forget to follow us on our socials. You guys have a wonderful day, night, whatever you're doing, do it wholeheartedly. And of course, as always, this is Dank Dan, signing off.
Get them to click that subscribe button, Dank. It's the only way we can figure out the numbers. What do the numbers mean, Dank? We're wasting valuable time.